Hey guys, Ed from edthorn.com here to try and help you guys make the most out of your home studios. And in this video, I'm going to be playing drums on a track from fellow YouTuber Paul Third. Let's dive into Logic, have a listen to the track, talk through the feel and some things I need to bear in mind when recording. We're then going to talk through the cheat chart that I've created for myself because my memory's shocking. And then we'll dive on the kit, we'll play through a few ideas for the songs and different sections, and we'll tweak some drum sounds, and we'll see how the video evolves from there. So Paul sent me 3 stems for the track, which is what I asked for, all the instruments individually, so I can mix it for my headphones as I wish. He sent me the bass, all the guitars together, and the vocals as well. The track is 134 beats per minute, and it is in 3/4. There's some nice little guitar pushes to start the track with. Let's have a listen.
Doorstep, I called you down the phone. I peeked inside your letterbox to make sure you were home. Oh, I knocked every door, asked your neighbors where you gone. 'Cause my love for you is unnaturally true. It's unnaturally true. I ran to a policeman.
And it goes around like that again before a middle 8/outro section where the drums will fade out. So I've written a cheat chart which I'm going to try and show you on screen now. Now the reason I put a cheat chart together is to make the song learning process a little bit easier. Also, when I'm playing along to the song, I don't really have to remember the whole thing because I can just read it. So as you can see, I've made some notes. It's in 3/4. Forgive the childlike writing. It has been written, in fact, by a 35-year-old man-child. So there's a little pickup before the 2/3 phrase at the intro there, and then there's some pauses, and there's a vocal counting before verse 1 and 2. And you'll see next to verse 1 and 2 there, I've written 8, which is 8 bars of time. Then there's 2 bars of the ba, 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 kind of more straight time. So that's those slashes are cueing me to play time, straight time on all 3 beats. So I'm going to change the beat there. Then we've got the pause there on bar 10, which goes over 2 bars. And then the section changes, and it's almost like a chorus at this point, I guess. And then there's the intro sequence with the 2/3 phrases again. And then some pauses over 3 bars before it turns back round into the second verse. Those 2 dashes and the dotted lines represent that's repeating that entire section. And then we play through that all again, and then we've got the mid 8, which is 16 bars of time, 6 bars of a different groove. And the reason I've written 16 and 6 is because I want that to be a different section with a different beat. So once I've done 16 bars into the middle 8, I'm going to change the groove. And then we've got those 3 hits again at the end, and then the drums will fade out there, and the guitars and vocals will carry on. I may do some cymbal spruces over the top. We'll see how we get on. I think this song's definitely going to be a case of less is more. So in the intro, I'm just going to pick the hits, maybe a light fill before the break, before the verse comes in. Now for the verse part, it's a 3/4 swung part. So my initial thought was to play something dead simple like... But I don't feel like hacking on the hi-hats like that is quite the sound or the texture for this song. And speaking of texture, I want to go for something a bit more earthy and a bit more organic. So I'm actually going to be riding on the snare drum. I'm going to put some rolls in as well at the end. Let's see if that works with the track, but something I also want to do is just put a little accent on the right hand on the first of those doubles. Now the drummers amongst you watching will understand that getting doubles like this, I'm playing something in between doubles and a press roll, which is requiring quite a bit of control. And the snare drum is tuned really low, as you can hear, and the top head's quite loose. So this is quite a bit of work. And as usual, when it comes to recording, my left hand is not working. So I'm going to put a little bit of an accent on, but not as loud as the, let's call it the backbeat, which is going with the guitar I'm playing with the left hand. So it's going to be something a bit more like... Something like that. Let's have a listen to it with the verse part and see if it works.
Oh, I ran to the doorstep, I called you down the phone, I peeked inside your letterbox to make sure you were home. Oh, I knocked every door, asked your neighbors where you gone.
I think that groove works quite well. It's got a really nice lilt to it that keeps the 3/4 time flowing quite nicely. Bit of a buzz roll into that change where I'm going straight with the hi-hats and the kick, and that just gives it a nice driving feel to go with the rhythm of the acoustics and the bass. Let's move on to the chorus because this is where I want to go for the ride. Now, my initial idea for this entire song was something along the lines of this. So this is where I want to bring this part in for the ride, a textural change on the cymbals, and something a bit more open for the openness of the chorus.
'Cause my love for you is unnaturally true. It's unnaturally true.
I think that works quite nicely. The verse and the chorus repeats itself in that fashion twice, and then we go into a middle 8 section, and this is where I want to try something else. Now, I thought about possibly doing a tom pattern, but texturally I don't think that works. So I thought, let's go to a full-on half-time groove and really kind of shuffle it up and add in lots of ghost notes and some interesting textures with the hi-hats. These are 17-inch Zildjian custom special dry trash crashes sound awesome. So I want to bring those into the track as well. Let's try some ideas.
Some days when you look at her, you don't know why she looks fine, overcome. She goes to find the words to say, but they won't come out. She says stay, she goes away. So I come back each day.
So I think I'll play something along those lines on the final track. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below if I should do anything differently. Let's move on and talk about the microphones, the preamps, and how I'm recording all this, and just how I'm getting these drum sounds. For this session, I've got the Sonar Pro Light drums set up. They're kind of the house kit. And I've got a selection of Zildjian cymbals as well. The kick is a 22 by 18, it's a 12 by 8 rack, and it's a 14 by 14 floor tom. There is a 16 by 14 floor tom as well, but I didn't bother miking that up or using it. And the snare drum is a really heavy brass 14 by 6 weighty number, really detuned. Hi-hat cymbals, I've got a Zildjian K Custom Dark Crash on the bottom. And on the top, I've got a Zildjian K Custom Special Dry Trash Crash with the holes in, as you can see, and that thing just sounds awesome. On my left, I've got another Zildjian K Custom Special Dry Crash 18-inch, and on my right, I've got a 21-inch K Custom Special Dry Trash Crash again, and for the ride, I've got a 22-inch K Light. This ride cymbal has a beautiful combination of wash, stick definition, and a really sweet sounding bell that isn't overpowering. Microphone wise, I've got the SE Electronics V drums on the kit. I've got a full review of those mics coming soon. If it's not out already, it'll be in the description below. But these mics, I'm genuinely so impressed. I've used them live on gigs when I'm sound engineering and in the studio, and I actually love them in the studio. They're just really clear, really make the drums sound how I want them to sound. On the snare and the toms, I've got the SE V-Beats. Underneath the snare, I've got the SE V7X dynamic microphone. I've tried them the opposite way around as well, but I just prefer, for this session at least, I preferred the tone of the V-Beat on the top and the snap with the V7X underneath. On the hi-hats, I've got the SE Electronics SE8 small diaphragm pencil condenser microphone. These sound really great. They come in the V Arena pack. I've also got another SE8 down here as a crotch mic, in between the two toms, the kick and the snare. Reason for that is I want to capture some of the attack of the front head of the kick drum, the snare drum shell resonating, which gives you a really nice ping sound, and also just a bit of the tone from the shells of the toms as well. On the overheads, I've got two JZ BB29s. These are incredibly detailed, sweet sounding microphones, but they've got a little lift at 10K, which I really like for that slightly glassy sound. Now, I'm not so much getting the glassy sound with the really dark, dry crashes, but it is just giving a little bit of lift to that top end, a bit of air to the overall drum sound. I've got three microphones on the kick drum. On the outside, I've got a condenser microphone, which is the JZ V47, which has a nice low-end bump in that, and that's just capturing the overall ambience of the kick drum. In front of the hole, I've got the SE Electronics V-Kick set to modern and classic mode. Check out my video for a comparison of all the sounds, because there's 4 different settings on this kick drum for different kind of styles. But I settled on this one for the most neutral and, you know, the right one for this track. Inside, I've got a Sennheiser 602, which has got a lot of bottom end and a lot of click to it. And in Logic, I'm blending the 3 of those in pretty evenly, actually, just to get a good balance of them all, having checked the phase, which was pretty much spot on. And they make a really good full sounding kick sound. At the far end of the room, I've got the Austrian Audio OC818s in either corner, set to cardioid mode. These are wonderful microphones. They're just room microphones to give some ambience and depth to the sound. And as a central room mic, I've got the JZ V67 with the SE reflection shield. This is just the setup I have for recording vocals, so I just lower the stand and plug it in anyway, and again captures a slightly different texture of the kit, particularly the kick drum, and just adds some nice presence and body and thickness to the overall sound. I don't really use the pop shield, but it's on there, so why not? And this is the rack all the microphones are going through. I'm not using the Warm Audio 412 because I had all this set up for the SE drum mic video demonstration, and I didn't want any external preamps possibly influencing the sound. So I've just gone straight through the Audient ASP 880s there. There's 16 channels there, of which I think I'm using 12. Kicks and toms along the top, metal stuff all along the bottom. Now the great thing about the ASP 880s is that you have these impedance switches. So I've gone through and I've tailored all the impedances for the drums. So for example, the kick drums are all a medium impedance, the snare drums are all a low impedance, and the cymbals are all a high impedance, which really brings out the glassy sound. Except the room mics, that's medium because I want a bit more body in the sound. And they're all going into my Universal Audio Apollo interfaces via ADAT. If you're interested in finding out more information about any of the products mentioned in this video, the preamps, the microphones, or the cymbals, and so on, there are links for your convenience in the description below. Purchasing anything through these links helps support the channel. I do get a small commission, and that enables me to continue making these videos for you. Hit the thumbs up if you've liked the video. Leave a comment with your thoughts on what bit of gear you like the most. I love hearing from you guys. Check out Paul's Spotify account as well for when he releases the full song. That will be in the description below as well. If you don't know Paul Third, he's a great YouTuber with a really interesting niche in music production. Paul uses an online platform called Access Analog, which gives you real-time access from your DAW to analog hardware. And what Paul does is he feeds his audio through this website into the hardware and back into his DAW, and then he makes comparisons with the analog modeled digital plugins from the various brands, Waves and Acoustica and so on. It's a really great concept. I'll link his channel in the description below. Be sure to give him a subscribe. Thanks for watching, guys. Be kind to one another, and I will see you all on the next one. And as a room mic, I've got the JZ V67, which is set up with the reflection field shield.